Ethnographic panels is what I want to briefly talk to you about because it's something we've always been drawn to. I've always been drawn to, but the feasibility, the practicality has always put me off until recently. I was in the US at an MRA conference I was speaking at, and I met during the lunch break. There were these exhibitor stand areas, and I was wandering around, and they were all one panel company or another, mainly quant research companies, uh, touting their wares. And I bumped into one particular company who I'd spoken to before in the dim and distant past, and I knew the guy, a panel company, and I said, look, I do ethnographic research, which is qualitative. You guys run panels, manage panels, and wouldn't it be great if we could join up and partner on some EthnoPanels? And it was a few months again, they got back in touch, and we now have a panel of people globally, and I kid you not, I'm talking about 55,000 people in around 30 markets who are, but they've been already been surveyed and filtered out, and these people are ethno-ready. They can make films, they can upload them for us, and they are willing to do it, and they are willing to have their images used for all sorts of things. So we sent these questionnaires out just to get a feel for how many people would be willing to take part, and we were amazed. How many actually do end up taking part is another story, but we're averaging 4,000 people per market, which is pretty good, because we won't be needing more than, let's say, 100 people a market when we do a typical project. I'm guessing we haven't even started a project yet. My next battle is to find a tame client who's willing to take a risk and run a project. It won't be too big a risk, but it might be, because we just don't know how many people are going to respond. I think it would be very exciting. So I've been thinking, how do we actually set a task? This is about setting people tasks, panelists tasks, to complete, such as film inside your fridge and talk about it, or, I don't know, film your breakfast routine. What's your breakfast all about? But it could be even more creative. It could be something like, show us examples of your worst, show us examples of the worst parts of your day, or show us examples of real indulgence that occur spontaneously through the day, and just see what people come up with. I mean, it may be that out of 100 you only get 30 really good responses, but multiply that by 10 countries, and you end up with a phenomenal sample size compared to doing normal ethnographic research. Okay, so we don't go in-home, we don't go and do deep dives. But the beauty of these panels that we have is that we can then get permission to go and do deep dives with a selection of the panelists. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you because it's an experiment. I don't think anyone else has done it before, and I'm going to keep you posted on the success of it. And another thing that I'd be really interested in doing with these panels is, well, from a quality control point of view, you could end up with so much rubbish if you simply set a task, which is why I think we have to actually make what I call template films, and that is a quick 2-minute, 3-minute film to show them what sorts of things we're interested in and set some kind of quality standard, so we don't get shaky nonsense from people. But the other thing which would help a lot, I think, which would be really interesting, is asking people to imagine an audience, which might be a child, a client, it might be a relative, or a friend, just to see tonally how that changes how they talk about whatever it is they're showing us. And then I think the other thing with the analysis will be, we'll be doing it on 2 levels with panels. One is what they're doing and what they're showing us, which is obvious. But the other one, which I think will be really interesting, is why they're showing us what they're showing us. Why have they chosen to point the camera at the things they pointed the camera at? And that adds a whole new dimension to me, to this kind of work. So, very early stages, like I said, we haven't even done a panel study yet, ethnographic panel study, but I've started a discussion on this, and it would be really, really nice if you can add to the discussion with any thoughts and ideas, on the basis that I will openly share any methodological findings, not insights, obviously, but methodological learnings with you. Thanks for listening. See you next time.